Well, welcome back, everybody. It's been way too long. I've been zipping through everything, and one story I forgot to talk about was going back to the music. I left out during the time of all those silly Spinal Tap moments that I was telling you guys about. We actually had a couple months where we were actually kind of living the life of a small, successful musical group. And so I want to go back and tell a story about our very first, and sadly, only music video. All right, so remember, Blackball was on an independent label, and the benefit for me was I kind of, once again was kind of jumping in on something that already existed. Chris had the record deal already in place. He was already on a label, and I got asked to be a part of the project, became Blackball. So what was kind of cool is we recorded the album, and we had talked about the process of that. And if I didn't, I have to go back. I actually have to go back and listen to these shows and make sure I'm not repeating myself. But I know I haven't talked about the music video. Can't remember if I talked about recording in a studio. I'm almost positive I have, but my old age is getting to me. I'm going to go back and look. I'm going to listen, actually. That would be even better. But back to the music video. We had done the album in October, in the fall, and it was coming out actually in the summer, and it was coming out in October. And then 2 months after that, we were to make a music video. Now, back to back, after recording the album then kind of comes out, and they start to promote it. And the record label had sent out these postcards of a beach. And since the record label was in Newport Beach, it was kind of a fitting theme for all that. And they put the postcard out that was trying to give people a clue that a new band was coming on the record label. And they send this out to the radio stations, to industry people, different bands that we would probably be playing with. And the postcard had just said, it had a plane in the air flying by over the beach, and it said Blackball is coming. And I can't remember what else was in the picture, but there was a postcard that they sent out in the beginning, and then when the album was released, they sent out like a sequel, or I should just say the second part of the postcard, which was actually funny. When the album came out, it was the same beach scene with a big black ball crushing a surfboard, a beach umbrella, and it says Blackball on it, like we just arrived. I have those postcards. I should put those up on my Facebook. Pretty cool. And they sent those out to all the record labels, or not record labels, but all the industry people. And they also sent out to the radio stations what we call, giveaways, little tchotchkes, and they had all these little things that they were going to put out that unfortunately never got done. I kind of wish that we had all that fun stuff. It would have been nice memorabilia to have. But anyways, it was kind of fun being a part of that. Like, wow, they're actually promoting us and we're doing stuff. Another cool thing we did is we had our first photo shoot with a professional photographer that was had done pictures with Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and a lot of the Seattle bands, Soundgarden, and she came down to shoot us, and we actually went to a warehouse in downtown LA. Now this was really scary, because why would we have to go to a place like that just to shoot pictures when you're not really going to see the environment that we're in? But nonetheless, you never know what you're going to get, so they want to have the opportunity to shoot all kinds of crazy stuff. And since we were kind of a rock band and kind of a little edgy band, that they kind of want to have like a factory warehouse kind of a environment. So we went all the way downtown at night, which was scary, and we brought a bunch of change of clothes. We went in this warehouse that had weird lighting in it, and they actually brought in some different colored lighting, which this was also funny. They brought in a bunch of different colored lighting to shoot in black and white. So you photographers out there totally understand why you would do that. I don't fully understand, but I get it. It's an artistic thing, and it's pretty cool. So they shot pictures of us, which you could see on Facebook if you haven't already. It's the all four of our faces just kind of looking down at the camera. And it looks like the side of my hair is all washed out white. I had actually had an orange light shining on the side of my face. An example of, they shot it in black and white, and made kind of a cool effect. So now we got these pictures, and we don't see them for a while, and finally a case shows up over at, remember we called the rehearsal space the Death House because that's where Precious Death all lived at one point. And so we all went over there we had to sign autographs. So this was another fun thing, right? I don't know how many, several hundred. It wasn't like, thousands. Big case of 8x10 showed up with the band on it, and we all had to sign our name underneath each picture. And I was trying to think of, okay, what am I going to sign besides my name that I could do over and over really fast? Well, you know what? I don't remember. I think it was something silly. I know that I wanted to do something silly like Be Groovy or Stay Cool or something that was totally a cliche. You rock. I don't know. I don't remember what I did. I did that on about the first 50, and I said, no more. I'm just going to sign my name. And so, of course, I'm just quickly signing my name, Lorenzo Morrow. And so that was a lot of fun. I was sitting around the table watching The Simpsons, eating pizza. And I don't know how many hours we spent, probably 3 hours, 4 hours going through, signing all these pictures for the upcoming big events we're going to do, big shows. So that was kind of fun. So it goes from the album, the releasing of it, the photo shoot, signing the autographs, and now we're going to shoot a music video. Can you believe it? Now this time, in our current year of 2011, anybody and their brother can make a music video, and it's probably going to be pretty good. They could shoot it all at home, edit it on Final Cut, pop it up on YouTube, and look, we're a band. You know what I mean? So, but even in the mid to late 90s, it still was a little chore to do. It wasn't all super easy. Now, Metro One, our record label, had worked with a team of guys that had shot a bunch of music videos, or they were going to shoot videos for all of the bands on their label. And you could tell kind of where we fit in with the rest of the bands because their biggest act, I won't say his name, he was a rapper, his video, I was like, wow, they actually went out and did a lot of shooting. It was really cool. And then the leftover, of course, was for us. But our video was actually pretty cool too. I was pretty impressed. But they shot it on 16 millimeter film, which was interesting because I was thinking like, wow, that's kind of low end. But it's kind of like saying, nowadays instead of recording like my podcast on digital audio, I'm recording it on reel to reel tape. It's that kind of a thing. So we meet up with these guys, and there's two directors and two guys working together, pretty hip guys, young guys. We end up, once again, going way out in Orange County somewhere to, once again, another warehouse. The weirdest thing, we go into this space. It looks like a garage, like a mechanic's, like an auto body shop. It's kind of emptied out. And it's we have to be there like at 8 in the morning. So the day didn't start off right because we didn't get started when super early Larry likes to leave. You know how I am. We talked about flying on planes to shows. So I was like, we got to go. And I'm calling everybody up. We got to get there. I got a knot in my stomach. We're going to shoot our music video. Everybody better be ready. Blah, blah. So after my stress of trying to get everybody together and we finally leave, I don't know if we were late or just on time, but it didn't really matter because one thing I should have known, even in the music business, it's all about hurry up and wait. We talked about that with Hollywood, doing extra work on a movie. You got to be there at 7. You get there at 7, and it's like, okay, you don't work until 1 o'clock, right? So that's kind of how this was. But we were in a rush, and we were like, we got to get something to eat. And we all stopped at like a 7-Eleven. I don't know why we didn't go to McDonald's or at least some place where I can get something good in my stomach. Not that that's good, but better than what I was about to eat. So knowing that I'm going to be shooting a video and playing drums all day and jumping around or whatever they're going to have me do, why not start the day off with a box of powdered donuts, some orange juice, some coffee, and maybe a bag of Cheetos to have just for a snack a little bit into the morning. It was horrifying. Why would I do that? And once again, remember, I'm the grandpa of the group. I was 30. I was 30 years old. Isn't that crazy? So we all went to 7-Eleven. We all got, except for Chris. Chris was smart. He probably got a juice and a banana or something. And so, and smart guy. So What not to do in showbiz? Very simple, right? Goes back to planning, and always goes back to planning and preparation. For goodness sakes, people, eat a healthy meal before you start your day. Whether you're going out to pound the pavement and walk up and down trying to get an agent, whether you're going to auditions all day, whether you're going to go practice with your band, whether you got an acting class, art school, it really makes a difference. Eat right. You're going to be more alert. You're going to perform better, because this day that we shot the video, as fun as it should have been, it was the most miserable, painful experience, solely because of my health, not because of what was going on there. It was, if you see the video, it's good video. It's good and it's a lot of fun. But if you go back and watch it, just know that when you see me jumping around and jumping in the air and running around, at every moment I was about to throw up. And every time they stop, I would run outside and kind of get ready to hurl. But fortunately, I never did. So let's back up a little bit. So we get there, and they're still setting up, and we're looking around going, what are they going to do here? And the guys try to explain to us about what this video is going to be about. So it's about a guy who is always just barely escaping not death, but like bad things happening to him, or bad things do happen to him. And you know what? Everything's okay. Doesn't matter anyway. And that's the name of the song, Doesn't Matter. So what he was trying to explain to us is that this guy just goes on with it about his day. One thing after another happens to him, but he still keeps a smile on his face, and he's still snapping his fingers to the song. That all sounded good. We're like, wow, that sounds like a lot. And how is all this going to be told at this warehouse or this auto body shop that we're sitting at? So they didn't really tell us a whole lot of what they were going to do, but they said, we want to meet you. We want you to meet the star of our video, because there's actually a character in it. The guy's name, his name was Duck. Don't know how to spell it. His name was Duck. Kind of an unshaven guy, kind of a hip. I don't want to say he's a hippie, but for whatever we would call young 20-somethings in the mid 90s. I don't know what kind of. I don't know what to call him. He had like a beanie on, unshaven, dressing kind of like the alternative flannel shirt thing. And he was total just like, hey, man, what's going on, dudes? What's on? I'm Duck. That kind of a thing. And we were just cracking up going, this is awesome. This guy's awesome. Now, the director said, okay, but we might have someone else show up. Now, this is, 1995, 1996, and Saturday Night Live was on, of course, during this time, as it's always been for the last 40 years, but they had just got a new cast that just finished their first year. And one of the members of the cast was a funny man by the name of Will Ferrell. Does everybody know who Will Ferrell is? If you don't, you should. Funny guy. They said, I guess one of the directors is friends with him because Will Ferrell is from Newport Beach. Or at least he lived there during the time before he left the Groundlings and went to Saturday Night Live. And they said, oh, he might come down and be in your music video. Would you guys mind? Now, at this point, he wasn't a huge star. But being a Saturday Night Live fan, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This would be awesome. So, the whole day, I'm like so excited. And of course, once again, I would love to tell you that he showed up. I let you guys down a lot. I do. I got a lot of good stories that should have a great big payoff, and they just go, pew, and they crash, and they explode. But, yeah, he never showed up, but we always crossed our fingers and hoped that he did. But nonetheless, we kept going. So we said, what are you going to have us do with this whole storyline with Duck running around? And they said, well, we're going to have you perform in this garage. So they had me set up my drums. And here's something that's interesting, is that I actually... They wanted to have light coming up on my face. So they removed my kick pedal. So when you see me playing, actually my foot's not even doing anything because the light is down there where my kick pedal would be, shining up at my face. And here's where the headache and the sickness started to kick in. So one thing they wanted to do is, you have to lip sync, right? Obviously, you guys know at least that much about music videos. You're jumping to the music, and so they have to play it back in a monitor. So they cranked it in like big guitar amps kind of a thing. But I had to play the drums, the real drums, and I had to play them hard and heavy as though we were performing it, right? So that means everything had to be extremely loud. Okay, and I couldn't wear earplugs because they were going to be filming me and the cameras were going to be going around, and I couldn't be seen with earplugs. And we're in an auto body shop with aluminum siding. So just picture, or actually not picture, just imagine what kind of ear damage that could do at about 10 in the morning. You know, because this wasn't a big showbiz set, it was a quick setup. You know, I talked about hurry up and wait. We were waiting around for a couple hours, but once I set up my drums and everything, I mean, once we started filming, they didn't slow down. It was like, just keep going, next, set this up, next. So our whole video was shot in this one auto body shop where they just kind of redressed it. They first, it's me, you know, the lights, it's dark lighting, and you see us jumping around, and I'm playing my drums. And then the next time they do it, they put a car in there, and there's like one quick second we're standing next to a car singing, and then the next shot is us, we're all running around and jumping in slow motion, and then the next shot is us leaning against the wall singing along, all in the same place. They just would keep relighting it and redressing it. So the first thing is the crazy playing the drums. So here we go. Ready? They click it off. You know, you hear the little cowbell count it off, so we can be ready to start. And I just start jamming, and this whole time it's just so painful, and I'm getting sick to my stomach. And every time you see a different angle of us, this isn't like a multi-camera shoot. That means we reshot it probably 4 or 5 different times. So we would do it without stopping. Maybe for a little bit they'd stop and say, okay, that's all we need for that shot. But nonetheless, it would be for about a minute or two of playing. And then they would stop, and I would just like go, I got to get up. And I would get up, and I wasn't even drinking any water that day, so I was totally not taking care of myself. So that's the first sign of it, was no water in between. I think I was jumping up and drinking a Coke or having a cup of coffee. I don't know what it was, but it was horrifying. So after we do that went on for a while. And we got a little bit of a break, and they wanted to shoot some other sets, so they had to reset up the little area we were in. And this went on and on. You know, I'm not going to go into detail every single thing we did, so it's not like it was action-packed. But the next thing that we did was they brought a car in, and they wanted us, they speed up the playback, so it kind of sounds like chipmunks. And we're sitting there along the car singing the chorus, but we have to sing it really fast, right? And so that when they play it back, you know, we're in sync, but we're moving in this weird kind of slow motion. They do that a lot in videos now. It's like, this is old school. But back then, you know, it wasn't done a lot, but, you know, it was a cool thing. So we did that, and that was a little fun. I had a little bit of a break from my pain because I wasn't really doing a whole jumping around, just tapping on the side of the car. But now comes the big part where we're just running around being crazy. Once again, they wanted to shoot this part at a fast speed so that, you know, you could run up to the camera and jump in the air while you're singing, and you'd be jumping up in slow motion with your hair flowing about. Well, here we go. I don't have an instrument to play. So Chris is a lead singer, so he's up front moving his hair, and every time he's flying his hair around, it's moving in slow motion. It's kind of cool. Our bass player and a guitar player, they're jumping around with their instruments. I got nothing, and I'm in the back. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I'm just running around, jumping up in the air, doing splits, doing back scratchers, doing whatever I can just to be crazy. But remember, everything's at a fast speed. So it's like, everything's okay. And I'm just running around, jumping, and then they would do about, 30 seconds, and then they would cut. And I would drop on my knees and just sit there and go, guys, I think I'm going to be sick. And I would just like crawl out of the room, and I would just kind of just breathe deep and hope to get it back, and they'd call us back in to do it again. Now, when you watch the video, you'll see a guy with long hair and a goatee walking with a box of pizza and eats a piece of pizza in front of the camera and walks off. Well, that was our director, and that was our dinner. So all that jumping around, almost throwing up, my dinner was this pizza. That's what we had, and it was crazy. We kept jumping around. Now, we took turns running up to this camera crane that's hanging above us, and everybody did something really cool except for me. I ran up to it, and I don't know what I did, but it never got used. I should try to go through the footage and see if I've got it anywhere. But yeah, it never got used. So I was kind of a dork, and they just kept me in the background, which is fine. I'm not upset about that. So that was fun. Finally, the video's all done, and it's about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So we really worked about 10 or 12 hours. We didn't really stop for a dinner. We just, in between takes, we would eat that pizza that you saw floating around. Video came out. It was shown locally on some of the local LA independent music station, not music stations, but there were some local shows. There was a show called Real Videos, and we got on there once. And I guess our video was shown around the country in different places. I don't know on what. I don't think it didn't. Obviously, was not on MTV, but it was a lot of fun, and it was our only video. And I always wish we did more because there's a lot of fun stuff we could have done with our songs. But so that's it. I had to get that story out for you guys. Had to tell you about the music video. So if you want to go see it, you can go to my YouTube page, which is youtube.com/LarryBoyLA, and you can see my music video, the music video of Doesn't Matter. Thank you for listening again. Glad to be back. Let's try to keep doing this every week as long as we can until I run out of stories, and then I think what we're going to do is change this show around a little bit. But keep listening. Have fun. I appreciate your support, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.